Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today, I'm going to be talking about the Legion AI system version 1.1. So I've got an update to the Legion AI system. I have updated the rules. They're not going to require you to re-download or reprint out any of the cards. If you've already printed them out, you're good to go. I had a lot of people ask me about that. So we're going to talk about 1.1. I'm going to hit you up with the changes and showcase them here on the website a little bit. If you are new here to the channel, I do want to remind you there is still time left to enter to win the giveaway for the $25 Amazon gift card. All you'll have to do is be a subscriber. If you're already subscribed, you're halfway there, and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. I'll be announcing the winner to that at the end of one of my videos later on this week, so stay tuned. And let's talk about this Legion AI system. So a little bit of backstory before I get into all the changes. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a card-driven AI system for Star Wars Legion that's going to allow you to play the game against yourself, well, really against the AI system. If you're alone, and I know there's other options out there. There's Tabletop Simulator, there's, and other people I've seen. At least at one point, I've seen other people come up with more intricate AI systems that have a lot of if-then statements and that are kind of complicated. And of course, you don't have to use a system like this. You can certainly just play solitaire if you want to just try to guess what the opponent might do. But that's kind of tricky, especially when there's things like command cards and stuff like that. So I wanted to come up with a system that was pretty much its own system and very, very simple. Now, this is, while it's very, very simple, it'll also make certain silly mistakes. And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about because it's not designed to be the most intuitive system to mimic a human. It's meant to be kind of like people are being mind controlled by some kind of dumb AI, and sometimes they'll do smart things, sometimes they'll do dumb things. They get some bonuses to make up for the fact that they do dumb things. So what you can do is you can read all the rules. If you go to Crabbok.com, there's going to be a link at the top for custom content. You can click on that. It's going to say AI system, and that's going to bring you there. I also have AI system for Armada as well, and as well a couple of other expansions. A lot more Armada stuff that I've developed over the years. Legion stuff is still kind of new as far as me developing Legion stuff right now. So this is my first big foray into making some type of expansion or some kind of actual game product for Legion. So I do have a video on here where I'm talking about it, so I'm not going to rehash too much of it. I do kind of go into the cards, how they work. You can download it right here. You can right click, you can save this as, or you can look at it. It's basically a PDF, and it's going to look kind of like that. And these are all the different cards, and basically they'll have numbers at the bottom. There's 10 cards. I have another version of it that you can download. If you just want all the cards on one page, you can just roll a d10 if, for example, you don't want to print out all the cards. I may make some slight adjustments to some of the cards at some point, but I do want to talk about the cards just for a little bit because as you can see here, this is kind of what the cards look like. I've had a lot of questions about CDR, and this is actually really good feedback. This is one of the things that happens when I rush something out a little bit too quickly because I wanted to get it into your guys' hands for all of this self-isolation, for this quarantine, so people could start using it right away. So it skipped a little bit on the quality control. So in version 1.1, I have like update notes at the end of the bottom of the page. I specify that CDR is short for commander. I have a military background, so I'm used to a lot of shorthand for ranks and things like that. So CDR in all cases is going to talk about commander. So I've had a lot of emails, and I thank you guys for all the feedback. You're helping me fine-tune this product to make it a little bit better. I'm not going to spell that out. I'm not going to redo the cards. It's not necessary. You just have to know that CDR means commander. One other little update. There is an inconsistency that I kind of screwed up on. I have aim and shoot on card number 2, for example, and I have aim and attack, I think, everywhere else where I talk about attack. So really, shoot should mean, like right here, aim plus attack, right? Aim and shoot should read aim and attack because if you are most of the time you're shooting. There's a lot of shooting in Star Wars Legion. But when I was writing that, we usually say aim and shoot a lot of times when we're playing. So I think it just came out that way, and it didn't. And it's going to be updated at some point, but it does not require you to reprint it as long as you know that aim and shoot is the same as aim and attack. So the only use case where this really makes a difference is if you happen to be engaged. If an AI unit happens to be engaged in melee, they're not going to just aim and not do anything because they can't shoot. They'll just aim and punch, or basically aim and melee attack at that point. So yes, they're going to aim and attack if they get aim and shoot. So that's the update there. All right, so this is version 1.1. The .1 means this is the first change. So if I make more changes, the next one might be version 1.2, etc. So let's go down to the end. I want to talk about the new changes because one of them is the clarification to those words. If you're going to scroll down here, you're going to go to the very bottom at the last appendix. Let's see. Here we go. We've got different appendixes here at the end. We've got Appendix A, which is special action guidance, Appendix B, and then Appendix C is an example. This is something that was added because I did a live stream, and if you can't find the live stream on my channel, here is a live stream here. Now, this was before I made 1.1. Actually, some of my notes in 1.1 came from this live stream and some of the questions that you guys have given me. So if you want to see this AI in play, because some people will learn better by watching as opposed to reading, you can watch me play right here. So this Legion Solo AI play, you can find a link to this on Crabbok.com under custom content under Legion AI, as well as at the top of the page has the original video of me talking about it. All of this stuff is there, and that's one of the reasons why I have Crabbok.com in addition to this YouTube channel, is to have multiple places for just to make it easier to find certain things, especially certain things that are important, because I put out a lot of content, and some things can get lost if you just you miss a day or something like that. All right, so here at the bottom, and this is going to be after the appendixes, and I may eventually change this to just read Appendix D or something like that. But for the rules updates for version 1.1, one of the biggest feedback pieces that I was emailed after the questions about what does CDR mean is Droid AI. Droid AI is a problem because one of the things the AI does not do is they do not get face-up order tokens or command cards. They always pull from the stack, and Droid AI certainly suffers from that. I'm talking about separatist droids, your B1 battle droids, your droidicas, things like that. The keyword AI or AI attack, AI move, or whatever. And I realize there might be some confusion because this is the Crabbok AI, but I'm talking about the keywords here. So that's why I say droid AI. So if you're playing against droids, anytime you pull to activate a unit, you pull an even numbered card, they lose their AI ability, and they're going to follow what's on the even-numbered card. So you've got a 50-50 shot for your droids to lose there, because there's 10 cards, right? You got a 50-50 shot for your droids not to be burdened by AI. Now, obviously, real droids are going to be played like flawlessly, right? And they're going to never miss their chain, and so they're always going to have face-up order tokens. Well, you know what? That's kind of the trade-off here. This AI is not supposed to be perfect, and that's one of the reasons why maybe you'll consider running AI with an extra 100 points or something like that. Play through it the first time, see how bad you beat them, then increase the points, play again. Have fun with it. The whole spirit of this is to have fun. Next up is free actions. Free actions are something that I I always wanted them to do, but I forgot to write down. Basically, any unit that has the opportunity to take a free action is always going to take that free action as soon as it would make sense for them to do it. So, hey, I've got, I can take a free aim because of this card. Okay, cool. Even if it's an exhaustible, they're still going to do it. And they're going to take those free actions, and they are going to use them right away. If I can't if I can't shoot, then I'm not going to take the free aim. Okay, so it has to make sense for them to do it. Now a dodge, you're not going to get shot, right? You never really know if you're going to get shot. Although there may be some cases where it's painfully obvious that you're not going to get shot, so you might not take a free aim for a dodge. But the only example I can think of as a free action for dodge is the Force ability, and that one you almost always take anyway because most of the people who can take that have Master of the Force 1. So, so that one you might have to use a little bit of your own particular flavor on how you want to handle it. There's going to be some weird use cases, and you kind of have to just use your best judgment. But for the most part, I wanted your own judgment not to really be much of a factor in this one, because at a certain point, you could always just play solitaire. If you wanted to use all of your own judgment, you wouldn't need cards. You wouldn't need anything. You just play against yourself. And some people are very good at playing against themselves. But at the same point, some people might not want to do that. Or maybe you want to, maybe one time try playing against yourself very seriously. And then the other time, just play against the AI system and see how different they feel. See what you enjoy more. Okay. So wheel mode. Wheel mode was an interesting one because it's a choice. And there may be a couple of other things that I missed that are going to, or maybe future things that are going to give you a choice that you have to make. And so I tried to go with a kind of just a straight, this should work in the most cases, but it won't be perfect. And basically similar to a free action. If the droid, okay, and we actually be able to pre-measure here a little bit, but if doing a speed 1 move is not going to put them in a place where they'll have a shot, then they're going to go into wheel mode. And they're going to do their speed. And then they'll still follow everything else. But they will engage wheel mode, which means they're not going to be able to attack. Right? So if they have like move and then attack on their action priority, they're going to skip the attack and then go to the next one. That might mean, like at least in one case during my my demo game, they only had 1 move on their action priority. So all they did was a speed 3 move and didn't. I think it was dodge was the next action that they were allowed to do. So it certainly wasn't perfect, but that's the idea. That's the idea. They're not supposed to be. You're actually supposed to. They're supposed to be dumber than a human opponent would be. They're supposed to be a little dumber, but they get those extra bonuses that are printed on the cards, right? So that sometimes that'll work better, sometimes it won't. And that's kind of the idea. All right. So displacement. Displacement is something else that came out in playtesting. Is that I might have what if movement priority tells me I have to move this way, but I've got units there. Am I going to displace my own units because a human player might not want to do that? So what I came up with is this is an advantage for the AI because they are dumb. I wanted to give them a little extra advantage. Displacement will still happen if you're directed through priority, but your units are basically never going to suffer for being displaced. So when an AI unit displaces its own units, its own units don't take a suppression from that, and they go back as close to their original position as they can possibly be. So basically they kind of don't displace. Now, if you such that like you have to move a vehicle like an ATST has to move and he displaces everybody and he's landing on their spot, you're just going to put the unit as close as you possibly could. You're going to have to use some of your own judgment, potentially, depending on exactly where they land. But that's why I just put as close as possible, close to the original position as possible. And then the last thing I want to talk about, I have the card clarification down here at the bottom. I already talked about that. Is maybe the most important thing, but it's very, very cool. And it's an optional ability, but it's called the Elastic Clause. And that is because I recognize that weird things can happen. A unit might be told to do something very, very stupid. I decided we throw in the Elastic Clause here, and this is giving you 3 basically golden tickets throughout your game. If at any time you see the AI is being told to do something really absurd, something that you just can't wrap your head around, it's like that does not make sense. Nobody would ever do that, right? You have 3 golden tickets per turn. You can say, all right, I'm going to override the AI and say that they should actually do this. So you can make a rules change on the fly 3 times per game if you want to. Now, you don't have to play with the Elastic Clause. I generally made this AI system with the ideas you would, no matter how stupid the AI went, you would just always play against that, and that's the game experience. It's meant to be different than a human opponent because I don't want to make human opponents irrelevant, right? So, but some people might feel better just being able to say, you know what, but I really, really want Darth Vader to fight Luke Skywalker, and I don't think he would ignore Luke because this other unit was just slightly closer. So this allows you to kind of set up some thematic things or some dramatic things, some more realistic scenarios, and that's fun. This was this was inspired by some user suggestions to be able to make some cinematic events happen. And honestly, I mean, really, if you want to do more than 3, you can. But 3 is the number that I picked up. I think 3 is fair and kind of works in the spirit of the system without completely, because at a certain point, if you're just going to make dramatic choices all the time, you don't need these cards. You don't need my system. You can just play solo Armada. I mean, a solo Legion. But yeah, so that's the idea. Is like the elastic clause gives you a baked-in three choices to override the AI. And, I want to hear some feedback if you guys think that these are good changes. I think that they are. And I like the elastic clause system because it gives you that flexibility to try to force like those showdowns in some kind of cinematic thing. And really, at the end of the day, this whole system is about having fun while you're stuck at home, right? Or having fun, or even once this quarantine is lifted, you're probably going to find yourself in situations at some point where you don't have anybody to play and you want to get some minis on the table. Maybe something as new has come out and you were supposed to play a game, but somebody had to cancel and you really want to test out the new, Gungan militia, right? Put yourself an army together, try it out versus this. It's not going to be the same as a human opponent, but it still gives you the opportunity to see how your list is going to work, to see how you can set up, to be able to put some terrain on the board, and to have some fun with the system. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. But yeah, be sure to check out Crabbok.com. I've got a lot of other stuff on here as well as links to Double Critical podcast, product reviews. A lot of people ask me stuff like, hey, where'd you get that terrain or whatever. If you go to my product reviews page, you're going to see I've got collectibles, which is things like my Darth Vader masks and lightsabers. I've got terrain, and that's all the 3D printed terrain stuff that people have sent to me. Play mats, I've got a lot of different types of play mats sent to me, and extras is all kinds of extra stuff that I've reviewed. So usually when somebody sends me something to review, it'll be put in one of these sections. All the custom content here is I have some guides. These are a little older, and then links if you want my contact email, if you want to, like I have a P.O. box if people want to send me stuff, or if you're looking for an email address, you have a question or something like that. But also in the description below, if you want to support the channel with merch or via Patreon or something like that, there's links for all of that. So big thanks to all of you guys who have been giving me feedback and trying out the new AI system. It's honestly literally the least I could do to help out during this time. I wish there was more that I could do, but these systems, it's stuff for us to stay gaming and to hold us over until we can meet again. All right, that's all I've got for you guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and big thanks to the patrons as well. You guys definitely help make this channel possible, so thank you so very much, you superstars. All right, that's all I've got, and as always, have a great day.